This is my Reflective Practitioner video journal number 3 for EDAD 612. So this journal is about master scheduling. I've never done a master schedule, so I would have to take what I'm thinking about and what I'm doing my reflection on from the interview that I had and what I've thought about it afterwards. Doing a master schedule, I think at times a principal or a vice principal feels maybe that they're in it alone. I did get that kind of an impression from Mr. Pizzo when I did interview him. And he said he used to do it before, just a little part of it before, because he was part of the special ed department, and then he was given the master schedule job to do on his own. Basically, he was in control of it, so he was basically the top-notch guy. So my thing would be that I wouldn't want to do it in isolation, that I would want to get input from the counselors especially to make sure that all students were getting what they needed, and that I was also getting input from teachers, and even looking at the data and seeing what the students' needs were or are needing for basically being successful in school. For example, I would have to look at the data and seeing what the seniors needed, making sure that the seniors got what they needed first, because they're the ones that are graduating, and they would need certain courses to graduate, and making sure that those courses were available to them first. I wouldn't want to have, say, a freshman take a senior class and then a senior's class away from them so that they wouldn't be getting what they needed to graduate. Another issue would be making sure that students are ready, are career ready, and making sure that those courses are offered to students that would help them become career ready to go out into the real world. Another issue that I think is important, when I talk to him about intervention time for students so that they are getting their needs met, he just offered me a schedule. In fact, I have my paper right here. It was an advisory time right here in this part here. And that was basically the only time that they offered extra help for students that were needing it. They could go to those classes and get the help that they needed. I think that if I were in charge of a master schedule, I would make sure there might be a time of day, and I'm thinking along the line of an elementary school teacher, because I've never done any higher grades before in middle school or in high school. But I'm thinking that it might be necessary to do a master schedule that would incorporate some intervention times and some trading of kids, or to where grade levels can work together, and like with the multi-tiered system of supports, and incorporate some really targeted, really specific interventions for kids to be successful. Another thing too is, the saying, happy wife, happy life. So happy teacher, happy school day. So making sure that the needs of, not only the needs of the students are met, but also the needs of the teachers are met. So for example, I discussed with Mr. Pizzo, well, how do you make sure, and these are some questions on the side, but it was about teachers' needs. I believe that was one of the questions, and he was saying, you don't want to give your veteran teachers those really hard classes, because you're going to burn them out, but you don't want to give your new teachers those classes to where the students are going to need an effective teacher, because they're still learning too. So you want to basically put the teachers that are just basically outstanding at teaching a certain subject area in those subjects that they're good at, and have those conversations and have that communication and build that trust with those teachers. Because I think if you don't have that, it's not going to work. Your master schedule isn't going to work. So you need to get the input of the teachers, and you need to make sure that, yes, you have this understanding that you're not going to have the favorites, and you're going to have this understanding that with them, and you build the trust, and you build those relationships to where you can ask teachers, say, hey, you're really good at teaching this subject, and these kids, they're coming in and the data's showing that they're pretty low, and they need to be given those intervention groups, and I need you to see if you can work something out, or to build some intervention time for them so that they can be successful and their needs are being met. Once again, I'm new to this. I'm new to this master schedule part, so I hope that what I'm discussing in this video is on point. Another thing too is time. You've got to build in time to do this. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, and you've got to give time to make sure that you give choices to the students, like the freshmen get these choices, and then the sophomores and the juniors, and then especially the seniors. But you make sure those seniors are getting their needs met first. So hopefully they're going to be able to graduate, and just making sure that that you're not alone, and that you can get some help from people, and just listening to what their needs are, and having also too the teachers, like the students have their choices 1, 2, and 3, like giving the teachers choices too 1, 2, and 3, and making sure that I can give you this, but I need you to do this too. So just getting everybody to work together and communicate, and to build the trust and the relationships that you need with students, with parents, with teachers, with the counselors, and with everybody that is involved in making the master schedule, and making sure that you're not alone in doing it too.